The bustling wedding venue. The guests below were cheering for the newlyweds to kiss. The bride, dressed in her wedding gown, looked shy, while Lucas held her head with one hand, slowly deepening the kiss. I stared blankly at the passionate couple on stage. Lucas's best friend turned and saw me, panicking and shouting, "Sis!" The next moment, the once lively atmosphere fell silent. I walked toward Lucas. The young girl awkwardly tried to hide behind him. Lucas showed no sign of embarrassment at being caught by his fiancée. He playfully pulled the young girl into his arms, raising his eyebrows teasingly. "Lou wants to marry me. Don't worry, we're not married yet. Mrs. Lucas will always be you." Lucas and I had known each other since childhood. After graduation, our parents arranged for us to get engaged. He was notorious in the circle for being a playboy, constantly changing girlfriends, which brought shame upon me. I smiled faintly. I took out a square silk box from my bag. "This is the bracelet passed down by the Lucas family to their daughter-in-law. I'm returning it to you." Lucas took it and played with it in his hands, smiling mockingly. "You even brought out the bracelet to make me break up with you?" I didn't miss the disbelief in his eyes. "Lucas, starting today, our engagement is off. From now on, we're strangers. You marry who you want, and I'll marry who I want." Lucas's face turned pale. "Amelia, say that again." His best friend, seeing things were about to escalate, stepped in. "Sis, calm down. This wedding doesn't count. Luke was just playing around. The one he'll marry is definitely you." Witnessing my fiancé marrying another woman in such a dramatic scene, I didn't cry or make a scene. I turned and left calmly. "Luke, go chase after sis." Lucas was confident. "What's there to chase? This isn't the first time something like this has happened. She'll come back on her own in a few days. You've never caused such a scene before. Any woman would be unable to accept her beloved marrying someone else. I advise you to go take a look." Lucas glanced toward the door, his dark eyes narrowing slightly. Lin-Lu suddenly tugged at his clothes. "Can I see the bracelet?" After leaving the wedding venue, I called Sophie and arranged to meet her at a bar for a drink. When she arrived, she saw 2 empty wine bottles and understood immediately. "What happened? Did you fight with Lucas again? Did he find a celebrity or a college student this time?" Hearing that name, my heart ached like needles were piercing it. "He got married today." After hearing the whole story, Sophie grabbed a wine bottle and was about to smash it over that scumbag's head. "You should have dumped him long ago. I added you to a group chat with the best men in our circle. Take your time looking." My phone suddenly started buzzing non-stop. I glanced at it. In less than a minute, over 30 people had added me. "I'll go to the restroom." In the hallway, a man dressed in a suit that stood out from the surroundings, with the buttons of his shirt collar loosely undone, leaned against the wall smoking. He looked like someone you wouldn't want to mess with. Perhaps noticing my gaze, he frowned and looked over. "Alexander? What is he doing here?" I walked over and smiled faintly. "Alex, can I have a cigarette?" He raised an eyebrow. "Aren't you supposed to be the good girl after you started dating Lucas? Aren't you afraid he'll find out you smoke?" I didn't say anything. He leaned in closer, speaking in a provocative tone. "I heard he threw a lavish wedding for another woman today. Are you two breaking up?" I reached out and took the cigarette and lighter. After lighting it skillfully, I exhaled a puff of smoke and said with a half-smile, "Alexander, want to come to my place tonight?" Our eyes locked. The words between adults were already clear. Alexander pinched out the cigarette and smiled lightly. I suddenly remembered he was famous in the industry for not getting close to women, and was about to explain, it was just a joke. But he actually agreed. Alexander unlocked the door with my fingerprint, then pressed me against the doorframe. His large hand gripped the back of my head and kissed me. "Amelia, are you a dog? Bite easier." I furrowed my brows slightly. "Can you stop talking? Right now, you're supposed to be making me unable to speak." The entire night, Alexander showed me firsthand what it meant to speak without thinking. It wasn't until dawn that I finally fell asleep, but my phone rang. I couldn't open my eyes, so I reached out aimlessly on the bed. A soft laugh came from beside me, and Alexander found the phone. When he saw it was a video from Lucas, his expression darkened immediately. He handed me the phone and tucked the blanket up to my collarbone. I answered the call, forcing my sleepy eyes open. Lucas laughed indifferently. Yesterday you said that marriage is none of our business. How could you go to my mom and talk bad about Lou in less than a day? Who went to your mom? You're crazy. It's early in the morning, why are you causing trouble here? The moment I opened my mouth, I froze. My voice was hoarse. Lucas asked in confusion, are you sick? I smiled, don't play dumb. He realized what I meant and suddenly raised his voice, leaning closer to the phone, where are you? Who are you with right now? Mr. Luke, we're no longer together. Where I am and who I'm with have nothing to do with you. I was too exhausted to speak and hung up the video call. At the bar, Lucas looked grim. Luke, Amelia hung up on you? She wouldn't really be serious about calling off the engagement, would she? No way. That's just her old trick to threaten Luke. If she really wanted to call it off, she wouldn't dare. This is clearly an act. She's pretending to be with another man to make you jealous and get you to go find her first. That's such an outdated tactic. Everyone laughed. Lucas's expression finally eased slightly. The sleepiness he had felt was now gone. I frowned unhappily. Alexander noticed, what's so good about Lucas? He was so promiscuous before marriage, and he won't be faithful to you after marriage either. He doesn't deserve you. I looked up in confusion. Alexander picked up the cigarette box on the bedside table, tapped out a cigarette, lit it, and his expression suddenly turned serious. When it comes to arranged marriages, the Chin family isn't any worse than the Lucas family. What are you trying to say, Alex? Alexander glanced at me. I know you've always wanted to secure that development project in Manhattan's East District, but on your own, it'll be no easy feat if we get married and work together, it'll be much easier. I was fully awake by now. With the Rockefeller Group's capabilities, we could handle it alone. Why share the spoils with me? Maybe I don't want you to get something for nothing? I couldn't help but tug at the corners of my mouth. After a few seconds of thought, I reached out my right hand. Let's work together. 40 minutes later, Alexander and I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Looking at the red certificate in my hand, I still felt a bit dazed. Let's go. What? Go meet the client now? Alexander raised his hand and patted my hair, chuckling, honeymoon. We changed into our diving gear and immersed ourselves in the turquoise sea, feeling the mystery and beauty of the ocean. Beautiful coral and schools of fish within arm's reach. Alexander made a hand gesture, signaling me to follow. We dove down to a certain depth and looked up to see a starry sky beneath the sea. After getting back on shore, the staff told me my phone had been ringing non-stop. I opened my phone to find dozens of messages. Miss Amy, hello. This is the manager of DK Wedding Dress Shop. When would you be available to try on the wedding dress? Miss Amy, hello. This is the wedding planner. What kind of flowers do you prefer? We can arrange for them to be flown in. Ms. Young, Mr. Luke has ordered a diamond ring for you at our store. When would you like to come try it on? If the size doesn't fit, we can adjust it. Wedding dress? Flowers? Ring? The more I looked, the more my brows furrowed. Had my phone number been exposed? Just then, my phone rang again. I glanced at the screen, which showed Lucas's call notification. Hello. He started with a confrontational tone. Where were you? I called you so many times and you didn't answer. The company said you took a month off. Where I went has nothing to do with you. Don't forget we've already broken up. Lucas didn't seem to care and even laughed. Aren't you just upset because I arranged a wedding for Lin Lu? I'll throw you one too. You should have received the message and called by now. Take a look at the wedding dresses and venue and let them know what you like. They'll take care of everything for you. I was speechless. Are you crazy? Although I couldn't see his expression, I could imagine Lucas's face when he heard me say that. Amelia. You threw a tantrum over the wedding, and now I've agreed to throw you another one. What more do you want? Are you never satisfied? I'm telling you, this is your only chance. If you don't want to marry me, then don't marry anyone for the rest of your life. Lucas is always like this. As long as he gives you a way out, if you don't take it, it's definitely your fault. You're crazy. We've already broken up. Don't call me anymore. Marry whoever you want. Lucas repeated the word, good, 3 times on the phone. Amelia, I gave you a chance. You're the one who refused. Don't regret it. You're crazy. Alexander changed into his clothes, Lucas's phone? I took a deep breath. Yeah, he thinks I'm upset about the wedding, so he wants to throw me one too. How could I have been so blind to fall for this man? Alexander smiled but didn't respond. The next month, we went to Iceland to see the mysterious blue ice caves. We rode a hot air balloon in Turkey. On the day we returned home, Sophia invited me out. I applied several layers of concealer but couldn't cover the marks on my collarbone. I had to find a scarf in my wardrobe and tie it around my neck. As soon as she sat down, she downed 2 glasses of wine. I'm so furious. Lucas is completely out of his mind. He rented out all the electronic billboards in New York City and had top celebrities record birthday messages for some guy named Lin Lu, and he's going to play them on loop for a month. Did he even consider your feelings? I held my glass and spoke calmly. I'm married. Sophia didn't believe me at first, until she saw the marriage certificate. Alexander. He's famous for not being interested in women. How did you manage to get him? That doesn't matter. What matters is that Lucas isn't even in the same league as him. I can't wait to see his face when he finds out you're married to Alexander. She suddenly calmed down. We have to celebrate this properly. I'm buying tonight. Sophia couldn't hold her alcohol, and after a few bottles, she was already tipsy. I put down my glass. Stay here, I'll go get you some tea to sober up. In the hallway, I bumped into Victor. He approached me eagerly. Sis, you're here. Luke and the others are in room 6. Lucas and I are no longer together. Just call me by my name from now on. Have fun. Victor assumed I was still upset. What Luke did was indeed excessive. Just give him a chance to apologize in person. We're in room 6. I'll go first. Sis, come over later. To return to room 3, I had to pass by room 6. I heard a familiar voice. I stood at the door and peeked through the crack. Lucas was lazily leaning against the sofa, with several buttons of his shirt undone. Lin Lu's lips were swollen, and anyone could tell what had happened. Luke, I just saw Sis at the door. I told her she still couldn't let go of you. I didn't expect Amelia to be able to hold out this long without contacting you. It's only been a month. I heard Luke celebrated another woman's birthday, so she couldn't resist coming over. Lucas's expression was cold. Who told her to come? We've already broken up. Enough already. This is the first time Amelia's gone this long without contacting you. Be careful it doesn't escalate. Yeah. Luke, I think you should make this woman leave right now, or Sis will get angry again. Lucas glanced sideways at the obedient Lin Lu beside him. She lowered her head, her voice soft. Mr. Lucas, today is my birthday. I touched the silk scarf tied around my neck, took it off, and pushed the door open. Everyone's gaze turned toward me. The marks on my neck were too obvious, even in the dim lighting of the bar. Lucas noticed them. He jumped to his feet, narrowing his eyes. What's that on your neck? I thought back to last night when Alexander had left marks on me like a mad dog. I smiled and said, kisses. Lucas kicked the table beside him, his eyes darkening. Who did this? Amelia, you really went out with another man behind my back, didn't you? Who did it has nothing to do with you, Lucas. A former boyfriend should be as good as dead. He sneered, Amelia, if I ever contact you again, I'll be a dog. Sophia drank some hangover tea and asked me, why did you take so long? I almost went out to look for you. Hearing the sound of something being smashed in the next room, I said, I went to handle something. Otherwise, there'll always be flies buzzing around. It's pretty annoying. Let's go. Both of us had been drinking, so we called for a designated driver. Not long after, the college student who married Lucas graduated and entered the entertainment industry. After achieving some success, she hired online trolls to comment under Amelia Group's official account. Mr. Lucas is truly different with Lu Jia. He's willing to hold a grand wedding for her. Forget the wedding, Mr. Lucas wouldn't even blink at giving her a pink diamond. I advise someone to part ways amicably instead of clinging to the title of Mr. Lucas's fiancé. The one who isn't loved is the mistress. Can't you just let Mr. Lucas and Lu Jia be together? The assistant handed me the tablet. Ms. Amelia, should we delete all the comments guiding public opinion? Investigate Lin Lu's dirt and feed it to the paparazzi. Then notify all media companies collaborating with Morgan Group, they're not to give her any resources. Got it, Ms. Amelia. I'll handle it immediately. What if Mr. Lucas intervenes? Don't bother with him. Just complete the tasks I've assigned you. An hour later, Lin Lu's comments section was in chaos. Yuri just a mistress, hiding in the shadows. How dare you openly challenge the original owner? I was in the same class as Lin Lu. She seemed so innocent on the surface, but she bullied me relentlessly at school because her family was wealthy. I have scars on my arms from her burns, and she even stole an award that should have been mine. She's always been this kind of person. I'm Lin Lu's stand-in. On set, she only does scenes where she has to be on camera. The rest are all done by me. Out of dozens of scenes, she doesn't even get a third of them. The rest are either done by stand-ins or edited in post-production. I was Lin Lu's assistant. There was a scene where I had to get into the water to pick something up. She refused to go in because the water was too dirty, so she made the staff buy bottled water before she would get in. I can't believe I've never worked this hard even as an assistant to a top-tier celebrity. What I find most despicable is Lucas. He changes girlfriends every few days. A man like that should have died long ago. Luke, aren't you going to answer your girlfriend's call? She's almost being torn apart by netizens. Amelia is still the same, she holds a grudge against everyone except you. Lucas didn't answer the question. He asked. Has Amelia called you guys again in the past few days? Everyone exchanged glances. No. Are you intentionally praising Lin Lu to provoke Amelia? I think you've miscalculated. With all the rumors about you and Lin Lu, has Amelia even called you once? Luke, if you really want to be with Amelia, just call her and apologize. It won't cost you anything. If someone else beats you to it, then let her do whatever she wants. If she wants to break up, let her. I don't need her as a girlfriend. That night, I received a message from Sophia. By the way, I forgot to mention earlier, everyone in the circle is saying that Alexander likes men. Is he any good? I saw the message and felt an urge to laugh, but before I could reply, a shadow fell over my head. Likes men? I looked up and met Alexander's mocking gaze. Let's try it tonight. See if I'm any good. By the time I reacted, he was already on the bed. Maybe it was because of the alcohol, but I felt my cheeks burning. When desire reached its peak, I lowered my head and bit his shoulder. It was pouring rain outside, and the room was filled with intimacy. The phone on the bedside table kept ringing. After finishing, Alexander picked it up and glanced at it. It's Lucas. Should I answer? My eyes were red, and I shook my head. Amy, he's clinging to you like a leech. It's making me feel bad. Then you answer it. I don't know if it was my imagination, but I thought I saw a look of satisfaction in his eyes. As soon as he answered, Lucas's slurred voice came through. Amelia, I've had too much to drink. Come pick me up. I've been acting crazy these past few days, and you haven't even bothered to check on me. Alexander snorted. It's me. There was a moment of silence on the other end before Lucas clenched his teeth and spoke. Alexander, do you have any shame? How dare you be the other man? We're a legally married couple. What are you doing calling my wife in the middle of the night? Impossible. He suddenly lowered his voice. Amy, please come pick me up. Let's not fight anymore. I forced myself to stay composed. Lucas, I've already made it clear to you today. You're just my ex. Alexander raised his eyebrows in satisfaction. Without giving the other person a chance to speak, he hung up the phone. On the other side, at the bar, Lucas had been frozen in place since hanging up the phone. I think Amelia is really done this time. Actually, you can't blame her. Luke has been too reckless these past few years. Having an affair behind her back is one thing, but you always have to make such a big deal out of it. Not only did you marry Lin Lu, but you also gave the previous little celebrity a ring, and the secretary you were pampering went to Amelia Group to cause trouble. If I were Amelia, I would have left you long ago and wouldn't have waited until now. Enough. Stop talking. If you want to break up, just do it. You never liked Amelia anyway. Lucas didn't say a word, he just grabbed his car keys and left. The people behind him couldn't catch up. He's drunk, he can't drive. It's over. He's gone. He must have gone to find Amelia. Alexander is there too, this is going to end in a fight. Amelia, I want to post this on my social media. At that moment, Alexander was completely different from his usual self, he was so damn charming. I nodded without thinking. Just a minute after posting, there were already quite a few people commenting. Is that P? Congratulations. You finally got what you wanted. But does Amelia know you've been obsessed with her for all these years? Holy crap. This person looks so familiar. Isn't this Mr. Lucas's fiancé? What's going on? Congratulations. Congratulations. Alexander replied to a few messages while holding a cigarette, then went to the bathroom to shower. Hearing the urgent knocking on the door downstairs, I pulled the blanket over my head, pretending not to hear. But the knocking grew louder, as if they wouldn't give up until I opened the door. I went downstairs wearing a black strapless nightgown, guessing who was knocking. I took out the marriage certificate from the cabinet. I opened the door, my face still flushed. Lucas was soaked from the rain. Amy, I won't act recklessly anymore. Let's make up. I didn't think much of it at the time. I just thought it was just a wedding, and it wouldn't threaten your position as Mrs. Lucas, so I agreed. I leaned weakly against the doorframe and showed him the marriage certificate. We've already registered. All that's left is the wedding. On the day of our wedding, we'll definitely invite Mr. Lucas to the wedding banquet. Alexander came downstairs wrapped only in a towel, wrapping his arms around my waist. Lucas raised his fist and punched him. I treated you like a brother, and you're thinking about Amelia? Alexander grabbed his collar and punched him back. Don't you know how many shitty things you've done? She endured you for 5 years, and you drove her away step by step. The two of them exchanged blows, neither giving in. Lucas stood in the rain, his eyes moist. Amy, I'm drunk. Can you make me some hangover soup? Alexander cursed. Bang! The door slammed shut. He pressed me against the door, and outside, Lucas was banging on the door frantically. Amy, when are we getting married? I want a proper relationship. When you two got engaged, you made such a big deal out of it. Our wedding has to be even better. I tiptoed up and kissed him on the corner of his lips. Okay. The next day, I received a call from Victor. Lucas crashed his car into the guardrail last night. The front of the car is completely wrecked, but fortunately, he didn't suffer any life-threatening injuries and is currently in the hospital. Sis. Amelia, can you come see him? He's not eating or drinking and refusing to take his medicine. He insists on seeing you. How many numbers do you have? The other person paused. Just this one. I hung up and blocked him immediately. Lucas didn't contact his parents or his current girlfriend. Why was he looking for me, his ex-fiancée who was already married? Victor showed him the black screen of his phone. Luke, Amelia really doesn't want you anymore. She's even blocked my number. Lucas stared at the chat window with his dark eyes, saying nothing. Later, he left the hospital when no one was around. Lately, I've been busy with that project in Manhattan's East Village. One day, when I returned to the apartment to pick up some documents, I saw Lucas sitting on the flower bed downstairs, still wearing his hospital gown. When he saw me, he walked over cautiously and called out. Amy. I pressed my temples wearily. What do you want? Perhaps due to his illness, he looked somewhat weak. Alexander did it on purpose. He's been after you for a long time. He wants us to break up so he can take advantage of the situation. Do you remember when someone slipped a love letter into your backpack back in school, and you were so angry? That person was Alexander. What? Back in school, Alexander was so aloof that no one dared to approach him, let alone ask for his contact information. The love letter in my backpack was actually put there by Alexander. He's jealous that you and I are engaged, so he deliberately framed me. So, you're saying he forced you to date those celebrities and college students? He forced you to hold the wedding? Lucas lowered his eyes and didn't respond. Amy, I got caught in the rain last night and have a fever. I feel terrible. Can I go upstairs to get a glass of water? No, I'm already married. I took out my phone and called Mrs. Fu. All right. I'll be right over. When she arrived, she slapped him angrily. What are you doing here making a fool of yourself? Look at what you've done. I'm too ashamed to face Amy's parents. Get out of here. Auntie, I have an important meeting to attend. I'll leave first. All right. Go ahead. I'll deal with this good-for-nothing right away. I nodded politely and turned to leave. To my surprise, Lucas was still sitting there when I returned. He was wearing a thin hospital gown, and everyone who passed by couldn't help but glance at him. He didn't seem to care, just staring at the entrance of the community. When he saw my car pull in, he immediately stood up. I took a deep breath. I didn't want to deal with him, but as I walked forward, he blocked my path and handed me the jewelry box I had returned. I never intended to give this bracelet to anyone else. Please take it back. I smiled and opened my phone to find a photo. It was a selfie of Lin Lu wearing the bracelet. Lucas hurriedly explained. This was the day you left. She said she wanted to see it, so I gave it to her. She just tried it on for a moment. I didn't want to argue with him. I shook off his hand and went upstairs. When Alexander came back, I saw the two of them exchange a few words upstairs. The next moment, they started fighting. I hurried downstairs. Alexander, you're no better than me. Do you dare tell Amelia about all the things you've done? My infidelity must have something to do with your schemes. That project in Manhattan's East Village was a trap you set for her. Go to hell with your collaboration. Amy, don't let him fool you. Alexander glanced at me nervously. I took his hand and interlaced our fingers. I handed the wedding candy to Lucas. The 8th of next month is the day Alexander and I get married. You're welcome to come to the wedding banquet. Back in the room, Alexander was still distracted. This was the first time I'd ever seen him like this. He explained, Lucas was telling the truth about some things. I know you wanted that project in Manhattan's East Village, so I used it as a pretext to marry you. His infidelity was also my doing. I signaled to the manager at the party to bring girls he liked over to him. I'm not as good as you think I am. I'm very skilled at manipulating people. I know what kind of person Lucas is. Even without you, he wouldn't last long in that lifestyle and would eventually grow tired of it and ask to go our separate ways. Alexander froze. You don't blame me? I smiled lightly. Of course not. I married you after careful consideration. Only young girls think only about love. I watched as Alexander's tense nerves gradually relaxed. The Manhattan East District project was underway smoothly. My wedding with Alexander was also in the planning stages. That day, I was debating whether to use all chocolate candies or a mix of various candies for the wedding favors. My phone popped up with, "Your friend is live streaming." I clicked in with curiosity. Lucas was kneeling on the ground, looking disheveled, with his pants torn at the knees. He knelt forward step by step. "I'm sorry, Amelia." Each step was accompanied by a plea. I recalled when we first started dating, he had said, "If I ever betray you, I'll kneel step by step all the way to Chingyun Peak." Seeing such a ridiculous scene, I fell silent for a minute. I quickly took out my phone to call him, but Lucas didn't answer. The comments flooded the screen. After all, it wasn't often one got to see the president of the Fu Group in such a humiliating state. Belated affection is as worthless as grass. What's the point of putting on this act now? You used to change girlfriends every few days, didn't you? Abusing your wife is fun for a while, but chasing her back is a funeral pyre. Just a few days ago, you were still hot and heavy with a female celebrity, and now you've remembered your fiancé's good points. Although Mr. Lucas was the one who cheated first, it must be said that Mr. Lucas's looks are top-notch even in the entertainment industry. I follow my looks, so Ms. Amelia should forgive him. The person above really has no morals. I'll just wish you a handsome boyfriend who cheats on you all the time. Amelia's current husband is way hotter than Mr. Lucas, 8-pack abs. Have you seen it? I just imagined it. I watched the man in the video refusing the call. Qin Yun Feng would have to crawl there on his knees, step by step, and it would take at least a day and night. The worst part is how embarrassing it would be. He kept saying, "I'm sorry, Amelia," over and over. Victor called, "Amelia, even though Luke wronged you, he's still running a fever and hasn't recovered yet. Could you please have mercy on him and give him a call? If you have time to call me, why not bring a few people over and knock him unconscious and take him back to the hospital?" Lucas continued to kneel step by step. He didn't care about others' gazes. He didn't answer any calls. He didn't listen to anyone's advice. Victor and the others went there but couldn't do anything, so they could only let him do as he pleased. Lucas didn't reach the summit until the next evening. He fainted from exhaustion and was carried down by the doctors. When I received Mrs. Fu's call, I was with my mother finalizing the wedding details. "Auntie. Amy, I really don't have the face to come find you, but Yanli wants to see you right now. No one can talk to him. My mother gestured for me to hand her the phone. Nanju. My daughter is about to get married. It might not be appropriate for me to go see your son. Why don't I send my son-in-law to make the trip? They've known each other before and are good friends. Maybe he can help. Mrs. Fu sighed. Ah. If Alexander comes, it might just provoke him further. Let's not bother. No, it won't. As the old saying goes, fight poison with poison. Let's decide this now. I'll send Alexander over right away. At the hospital, I waited outside the ward. When Lucas saw Alexander, it was like enemies meeting. They glared at each other fiercely. Alexander, I never expected you to trick me like this. From the first female celebrity, I've been caught in your trap and can't escape. You can't even control your own little world. Who else can you blame? That's because you've been scheming all along. Without your schemes, Amy and I wouldn't have ended up like this. The gardenias outside were in bloom. I went out for a walk and didn't hear the rest of their conversation. I wonder what Alexander told him. In the days that followed, Lucas didn't show up in front of me. I did see Lin Lu a few times. Sister, can we talk? She spoke with her head down, her voice very soft. It was hard to connect her with the person who hired online trolls to insult me on the company's official account. Lin Lu kept her head down, twisting her fingers together. After a long silence, just as I was about to get up and leave, she finally spoke. I'm pregnant. I took a sip of coffee and replied, what does Miss Luna want with me? The child in your womb isn't mine, is it? Lin Lu looked up in shock. The child is Mr. Lucas's, but he doesn't want it. Can you please talk him into letting me keep it? I'll give up everything he's ever given me. I'll even return everything he gave me before. All I want is to be able to give birth to this child. Miss Luna, you've come to the wrong person. As his ex-fiancé, I have no reason to go to him about this. And you don't need to act this way in front of me. Between the child and the things Lucas gave you, which is more important? You know the answer. Lin Lu suddenly knelt on the ground. But he only has eyes for you now. Without you, he might have let me keep the child. His friends all say I'm an exception, the only one who can make him marry me, right? He even gave me a ring, which proves he was serious about marrying me. Lucas's exceptions are too numerous to count. Many others have received his exceptions in the past. Miss Luna, aside from your pink diamond ring, which is worth some money, the other ring, if I recall correctly, many others have received identical ones. Lin Lu couldn't believe it. Impossible. You're lying to me. Everyone says I've been by his side the longest. You must be lying to me. Did Lucas ever promise you that this ring was only for you? Lin Lu opened her mouth but found she couldn't argue. See? He doesn't even bother to respond to you. Lin Lu tried to say something else. I interrupted her. Miss Luna, I hope you won't show up in front of me again or come to the company to find me, because we really don't know each other well. Assistant Xiao, escort the guest out. Xiao Qiao escorted her out and knocked on the door before entering. Ms. Amelia, don't listen to that nonsense from Lin Lu. The child in her womb isn't Mr. Lucas's. My friend said that ever since she was put on ice by the company, she's been trying every means possible to get re-signed. You should know what methods she's used. I looked up at Xiao Qiao, continue following up on the Manhattan East District project. As for trivial matters, there's no need to report them to me. On the day of the wedding, the weather was sunny and pleasant. All the friends in the circle were present. Congratulations. Congratulations. I thought you would marry Yanli, but I never expected. Today is Amy's wedding day. What are you talking about here? I think Alexander is so much better than that Lucas. Sophia had always disliked Lucas, and on such a wedding day, she didn't want to hear his name mentioned at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look at me, I shouldn't have said that. I smiled and didn't take it seriously. Go sit down first. The wedding is about to begin. The wedding venue was decorated in a traditional Chinese style, grand and solemn. The wedding gown was specially made for Alexander, with a luxurious outer robe embroidered with golden phoenixes. She wore a phoenix crown on her head, with golden tassels hanging down on both sides, and the phoenix crown and veil draped over her shoulders. Two families united in marriage, a contract sealed in one hall. After the ceremony, I changed into my toasting attire. Victor handed me the Buddhist beads he had obtained from Qingyun Peak for Lucas. Now Luke regrets it deeply. If he could do it all over again, he says he would cherish you dearly. Victor continued to ramble on. I didn't notice Alexander's displeased expression. I smiled and separated the two. After a busy day, I lay on the bed, and Alexander helped me undress. In the bathroom, my back pressed against the cold wall, the steam blurring our vision. He wrapped his arms around my waist, and before I could react, his kisses rained down on me.